in the Academy for Smart Kids?
That's it. That's for smart kids. But
You got a Georgia shirt on.
He does have a Georgia shirt. So that's why we brought him in for this SEC segment. We're not going to start with Georgia, even though they're the best team coming out of it. You got some games this week. You got Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Now, Kentucky, and they lost to South Carolina. They lose a lot. They have a chance at Vanderbilt?
I don't know. After the performance against Tennessee last week at home, especially, it concerns me the opportunity that they have today. I don't know if they have enough poise to stand up against Vanderbilt. I think they'll get a close one today.
So you like Kentucky in this game?
No, I like Vanderbilt.
Night Train, I tried to help you. Now, Night Train is a Kentucky guy. I tried to help you.
No, you're good.
You're good. You're good. Hey, you're good. You might get a C-, but other than that, well, guys, hey, I'm with Jack here. I like Vanderbilt.
I do too.
Man.
Kentucky with a third-string quarterback. I mean, they look awful the last 2 weeks. I don't see them beat nothing. I think Derek Mason wins today.
This is another dogfight in the tough SEC right here. That's what I'm saying. Another dogfight.
Is it an SAT? I would say SAT.
SAT. This is
but Kentucky's involved. They wouldn't be in an SAT battle, are they?
We're having that Vanderbilt's way.
I would say, well, Kentucky's a basketball school, but if you lose to Evansville.
Guys, hey, the opinions are not those of me or the
Sorry, Train.
Night Train, just understand that these guys are crazy. And I think Kentucky wins. Actually, I got Vanderbilt. I'm gonna take
I'll take Kentucky. I like Stoops. I think Stoops is a good coach.
Stoops is a good coach. He's got a good program there.
I'll tell you, our next game is Florida, Missouri, and I'm not sold on Florida at all. I've been all season long. Them and LSU proved me wrong. I wouldn't sold on either one of those. But Florida, I don't know how they're still hanging around. I like Missouri in this game.
I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Missouri, they're not the flashiest team, but they still play in the SEC. They still play that competition. Florida, after having 2 losses now, realistically they don't have a chance to make the Final Four. So I think that they may be taking a step back, try and reduce injury possibility. So look for Missouri to definitely try to slip up the Gators today. I think
Missouri's 5-4 could get bowl eligible today.
Well, you got Kelly Bryant. Obviously, he made the best decision.
Well,
right?
All the SEC homers on that committee that picked the
Lord.
They better hope that Florida wins. But I like Missouri.
Well, then we got Alabama, Mississippi State, and Mississippi State ain't no joke. I mean, I get it, Alabama's good, but Starksville's a tough place to play. I like Mississippi State to play them pretty close, but I think Alabama pulls it out.
Unfortunately, Alabama does get the win today. I do think that
Spoken like a true dog.
I'll see how later we get to Georgia. You know what? I'm gonna let it keep going. Keep going, Alabama.
Well, I do think that with playing in Starkville, that the Cowbells are going to get to the Alabama fan base, especially the players and coaches. I do believe that Mississippi State will lose, probably like a 2-touchdown game at best, but I do think it'll be a lot closer than
You need more cowbell. You need more cowbell.
Isn't that illegal, though? You're not supposed to do that, right?
College, you can't.
Oh, you can't. You can bring anything you want in college. Should I bring an air horn?
Honestly, clear back.
I have a clear bag. On that, we go LSU at Ole Miss. So they have a slip-up, a big win against Alabama last week. The number 1 team in the country. They poke their chest out and they love themselves. Hey, and again, before we talk about this, let's talk about the cat. You're a young guy, Jack.
Right.
Okay? So, the social media is huge. What do you think about the guy that videoed Orgeron talk in the locker room after the game?
Well, I don't believe that should be allowed. I feel like there should be some kind of penalty for that because there's a reason you do it in the locker room and not in front of the 100,000 people you play in front of because that's something that you and your team are discussing. Not everyone needs to know that. I don't know exactly what he was referring to because I don't believe I've seen the video, but I just know from the past, like I remember a couple years ago, Antonio Brown did that in the locker room against the Chiefs, I think it was. So I just don't think that's a good thing to do.
Hey guys, just letting y'all know, one of y'all probably get fired after today. Jack will be taking the job.
What do you mean?
It
might be all 3 of them.
It might be the Jack and Ashley. Sounds like or you had the Jack show.
What's refreshing is, Jack, what year are you?
I'm a senior in high school.
He's just, for a senior to be talking about, it's unacceptable. You need to be. It's between your team. I mean,
Well, Jack has a lot of time.
Why is beyond his years?
Well, he has a lot of time on his hands because his base school would be Soccer City. There's not a lot of football going on there, so he can concentrate on college, right?
Oh, you got that
Right? Is that what
Hey,
happened,
You are
Jack?
correct.
Same amount of time doing there as it is across the river.
But it ain't helping me. I'm just as tough as I can ever be. So, do we agree that LSU pulls it out and it's going to be a tough game?
I don't know that it's going to be necessarily a tough game. It's not going to be a walk in the park, though. I do think that LSU will definitely win. Even though they're going to be playing in Oxford, Ole Miss, they still won't have a chance to beat LSU.
Orgeron's got those boys dialed in. They are on a mission. I don't see any slip up at all.
And again, and that's the guy that I can play for. Just a good guy, coaches his coaches, let it go. But what I really like, and what a former Conway player, Jalen Moody, did not like, and I very from the horse's mouth I heard this, is that there were some players from LSU that ran over and talked to the recruits of Alabama.
I saw that.
Now, when I say Jalen Moody, I didn't talk to Jalen, but I talked to Mikael Moody, who works at the Conway Rec Center, and he was at the game, okay, and he was telling me about that situation, and he tells me through Jalen, and so again, I'm not it's second, but it's good information that Alabama's they're not really worried about how this is going to play out. Now, whenever the video came out, if you saw that, whenever they announced that Georgia was ahead of Alabama, there were some situations there.
Yes.
But the Alabama players think that they're okay.
They are okay.
They are.
They're sitting pretty. They're the best. We said it earlier.
You got to get your voice higher.
They're,
No,
you
no.
gotta
Go higher.
You got to get higher than that.
excited.
You got to get higher than
They're in the Alabama's sitting the prettiest of everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
Good crap.
and again, what do you think about that situation with an Alabama? You know, they come into Alabama, which I think is smart. The LSU players go and say, "Hey, man, you need to come with us because we're going to cut their tail 3 or 4 more years."
Well, yeah, you do make a good point. I believe actually the same situation happened with LSU Alabama when they had the BCS system about, I think, 6-7 years ago. They played that overtime game, 9-6 in Alabama. They also went in there and won. But Alabama was sitting pretty there, still a top 5, and they ended up sneaking in the next championship game and winning. So I feel like if Alabama doesn't lose again, which looking at the schedule they shouldn't, I think they still have a chance if Georgia can tell us in the championship game. So look out for the Crimson Tide.
Hey, my man, Jack, Night Train. Hey, my man Jack, he's got it going on, man. He's rolling. Now we're going to talk to some expertise.
Oh, here we go. Your team.
This is his game right here. This is Jack's game. Georgia at Auburn. War damn Eagle is what you got. I think Auburn upsets Georgia. I think Georgia should be maybe 8 or 9 in that poll.
I can understand this not being in the top 4 definitely at the moment, but
It's going to play out though, right?
it's going to play out.
See, me and Jack are on the same page.
I'm saying when we get to the national, getting a little ahead of myself. When we get to the conference championship game,
Love
and when we play LSU, or if somehow it happens we play Alabama, if we win that game, we'll be one of the top 4 because the committee does want to put an SEC team in there, and if they got a one-loss conference champion, they'll put them in.
What was that, Jack? They want what?
They want to put an SEC conference champion.
But then Georgia, since 1981, the last time they won was 1980.
Right.
Okay, they laid an egg every time. And I'm a Georgia guy. Don't get me wrong, I like
Yeah.
Georgia. But they can't seem, they should have won a couple years ago.
Yes, they should have.
And choked. What's different between this team and the Georgia teams in the past?
Well, I think that the team this year, that they're not given enough credit. They're ranked higher because of an SEC team, a bigger caliber team.
So what you're saying, if they were an ACC team, they wouldn't even be considered right now.
No, I'm not saying they wouldn't be considered. I'm saying they wouldn't be getting the same amount of publicity that they would.
Now, hey, I was going to be nice to Jack, but he's pretty good. I'm going to get on him. Hey, let's roll.
Look here, you got to understand. Ashley hit the scoreboard with a field goal.
Yeah, I'll let you deal with that. Kevin Butler myself, by the way.
In between the heads.
And you know who Kevin Butler is?
I'm sorry?
You know Kevin Butler?
Yeah, he's Kevin Butler.
Greatest kicker ever come out of Georgia. Just say, yeah, okay. We'll talk about that later. But Georgia, I mean, they have a great quarterback.
Right.
And arguably they have the best entrance. And I've talked about this already. They're playing Auburn, so we're not going to get into that.
Right.
But when they came out at Notre Dame, that by far was the
It's
best.
electric.
It was how amazing was it? Explain that to us.
Well, it was very cool to watch. Personally, because the tickets were very expensive, I didn't get to go to the game. But
oh, Dr. Calhoun,
watching
Mr. Dr. Calhoun.
Night Train can get you tickets.
He can.
No, that's just the Kentucky. That's the Kentucky.
We want to go to a game we win. So.
Oh my! Got him.
I'm gonna get kicked off here.
Got him.
No, you're right here with us. Come back anytime you want. It's not even.
So how was that? I mean, the red lights, and that was the first time they've done that?
I don't believe it's the first time they've done it. I do believe it's the first time they've done it that caliber.
It was on national TV.
It's national television. So they're going to go all out for that, especially playing very, I guess, a history buff as Notre Dame came to play. We almost let them win, too, at the end. We kept playing around with them. But luckily, we finished that off.
There you go.
So I'm assuming you like Georgia in this game.
I do, but I think it's like one of those one-point games.
But why do you like Georgia? Why do you like Georgia to be that hard?
Well, Auburn's a two-loss team, but don't take anything away from them. They've played arguably the toughest schedule here, and they've had to play some really good teams. Like they had to go to Florida and play in the Swamp. It's a hard environment to play in. We can't say that we do that because we play in Jacksonville, but we still beat them, so that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Well, let's explain the South Carolina loss.
Okay.
From a Georgia guy. I haven't talked to a Georgia
Okay.
guy. How did that make you feel? Because you're in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Predominantly South Carolina fans.
Right.
So you probably had a tough day at school Monday.
Well, it wasn't a tough day at school Monday, but I did get some comments, and we shouldn't have lost that game. We shouldn't have been that close with them. They figured out what they needed to do, and that was to make Jake Fromm play quarterback. I love Jake Fromm. I love him as a leader and a player, but we can't win consistently when he has to throw the ball 50 times a game. That's not his
So you think he's the game manager?
What did you say? You can't win throwing what?
50 passes a game.
What do you have to do?
You got to run the rock.
God.
We got another convert over there. You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
That's right.
You're drinking the purple Kool-Aid over here.
Tell him, run the darn football.
So,
my man Jack.
So you think Fromm is more of a game manager than a elite
quarterback?
You don't think he's an elite quarterback?
I'm not saying that he can't win, but yes, he's not the kind of person you want throwing 50 times a game. He's a good quarterback for a running-based offense.
Now, Jack, tell him, to win football games, what do you have to do?
You got to run the rock.
Hey, you guys
run the rock.
You score more points. Right? You guys score more points than the other team. Y'all did that to me earlier. You guys score more points than the other team.
Well, that's true. I mean, look at kickers 3-0. I'll take a 3-0 over 17-15 loss. I mean,
you drink the Kool-Aid. I don't even know that I recognize Jack anymore. Actually, you should have a Furman shirt on now.
I'll support Furman. Yeah, that's a really good university.
Thank you. Everyone likes a winner. Tell him.
My man, Jack Calhoun, job shadowed today, and he's probably taking all of our jobs by the time we leave. But I appreciate you coming by. We still got a lot more to talk about. We'll come back on the other side of this break. We'll talk about the national games and a lot more. We got some Furman national championship rings flying around here. Just a lot of cool stuff coming here at Dagwood. It's starting to fill up. People are coming in to get those sandwiches, get the guys cold beer, the soft drinks. You listen to 100.3, The Team.
Good job, Jack. Woohoo!